Talk That Talk with DivaSpeaks Relationships. My name is Portorreal. We have another topic to tackle. That's right. It's not necessarily a letter, but it was a post that was posted anonymously. So you can call it a letter, right? In a group that I'm a part of, okay? Anonymously. So no privacy is being compromised. But I'm telling you, this is a hot topic in today's dating climate or culture. And it's controversial. And I've heard it discussed and talked about by many people that are attempting to date in today's society, especially men. So let's get into this post and or a letter and let's talk about it, okay? So the person writes, and it's safe to say it's a woman. My boyfriend has family in town from out of state. I have met them and been to dinner with them, etc. And they invite me to stuff when they're in town. Well, his aunt is throwing them a party at her house tomorrow. He asked me to go. And I told him, I have my kids this weekend, but I would see if their dad would switch a day or so. I could attend since they like to see me. They is in her current boyfriend's family. He never invited my kids or offered for them to come when I told him this, so I guess they're not invited. Their father already had out-of-town plans for like a month, so he can't. I told my boyfriend, and now he's raging at me. He says I didn't ask for the switch up in enough time. Even though I told him their father's plans were set over a month ago, and he had only asked me about this 2 weeks ago. Their dad is always willing to switch for things. We have a great partnership, so he's not doing this out of spite. But my boyfriend says that he is. I'm annoyed because he's being so rude about it and questioning the relationship just because I can't go. Well, I feel like maybe he should have invited my kids if he wants me there so bad. If there's no kids going, then he should accept that this is my court-ordered weekend and their dad doesn't have to switch if he doesn't want to. And I'm not leaving them at home, missing my day with them so I can go to a house party where they're not invited. He says I'm embarrassing him because I'm ditching him. I think it's absurd. People miss parties all the time. I share my kids 50-50. So let me repeat. I already share my kids 50-50. So I already see them less than a mother wants to. I was willing to try and switch a day, but it didn't work out. I don't understand how he expects me to just drop everything and go to this party. It's not even a big party, and it's an hour away. So it's not like it's down the street for me to make it an appearance and then go back to my kids. It just doesn't work out for me this time. First of all, how can he be so angry and so rude? And what am I to do when my kids are not invited? As promised, I said this was something worth talking about. So if you're just now tuning in, we have a woman in a bit of a situation. She feels like she's in a bit of a situation. Her boyfriend, her current boyfriend, okay? Let me back a little bit. She is a single mother with 2 children, and she has a great co-parenting relationship with their father, even though she's not with the father of her children at this time. She has a new boyfriend, she's in a new relationship or whatever. So the new boyfriend has family that lives out of town, and when they come into town, they always make it a point to invite her in whatever they are doing, whether it's out to dinner. Well, this time they're having a house party at the boyfriend's aunt's house. The boyfriend just asked her about 2 weeks ago. Well, the children's father already had plans to go out of town, made in advance about a month ago. So she casually asked her children's father, can we switch up this weekend and you take them? And he says, I can't. I got plans. She relays the information to her boyfriend. He's not understanding. The children are not invited. She was very, very, very clear in making a point, to make it a point that her boyfriend did not invite her children, since her children is the reason that she cannot attend this house party that her boyfriend's aunt is throwing. So now the boyfriend is throwing a temper tantrum, okay, getting all out of pocket with our good sis because she can't attend his aunt's house party because she has her kids that weekend, and she's not understanding why is it such a big deal. Well, the boyfriend is telling her, well, you're embarrassing me. This is embarrassing. And you didn't ask old dude in enough time where he could have, did the switch up. It's a mess. Let me be very, very clear. It's a mess. This is a woman who is a single parent. She says her and the children's father split 50-50 custody of the kids, and she already doesn't see her kids enough as a mother should. So what I see is this woman is involved with a man who does not accept her kids. Either he does not accept her kids, he doesn't like kids, or he just doesn't want to include her kids in whatever he has going on with her. It's unfortunate that she doesn't see this, right? Because once upon a time, or I came from an era where, the mother and the kids were a package deal. If you don't like and you don't accept my children, there is no conversation. There is nothing that needs to be said. It is what it is. Me and my kids are a package deal. It's, you either accept all of us or none of us. And now we live in a society where it's even I guess you can question it or you're giving it a chance. The moment that this man knew that you having your children for that particular weekend, that his aunt was throwing a house party and he threw a temper tantrum, and now he is upset with you because you cannot go, is the moment that you should have reevaluated that relationship, because now you're putting up with foolishness. Why is it even an issue? The house party is an hour away. He didn't give you enough notice. You already have admitted that you have an excellent co-parenting relationship with the children's father, and you know that if circumstances were different, he would have, given you that particular weekend off and allowed you to attend the party, but he had plans of his own. So the issue is not the children's father. The issue is the dude that you have chosen to be your boyfriend, to be your man, for you to lay up with. You are in a relationship with a man that don't think nothing about your kids. He doesn't care about you being a good mother. He doesn't care about your children's well-being. And he is creating a situation where you're having to choose with spending time with him and what he wants to do versus spending time with your children. So why are we even having a conversation? When did it become acceptable to have conversations like these? Like the moment that he didn't understand that you cannot attend this party and just let it go. There will be other parties. There will be another opportunity for you to get to spend time with him and his family when they come back into town. Was the moment that you should have checked him. Okay, you should have checked him and let him know nobody comes before my children. And the moment that you try to create a situation where I have to choose between you and my children, you will always lose. But that's not what you've done. That's not what you've done. Please don't allow this man to think that he has any type of power or control over you to make you choose between spending time with him and spending time with your children, okay? Things come up. That's a part of life when you're dating a single mother. And there's a lot of conversations going on across social media about a lot of men and women too prefer not to date people with children because of circumstances like this. But those are the ones that I have to say, even if I don't agree with it, I think, there's some level of, it's distasteful to me. But I think that the people who are honest and upfront about their desire not to get into relationships with people that have children are to be applauded and respected, because they are telling you up front what their preference is. They prefer not to deal with people who have children. And that's okay. But that's not what this is. This is a man who is involved with a woman who has 2 small children, wanting her to attend a house party for one of his relatives over an hour away. Once he knew that she was having issues or trouble, getting a sitter for her children, you would have thought, most of us would think, well, he would extend an invitation for the children to come with them, since he wanted her there so badly. But that's not what he did. He threw a bitch fit. He threw a bitch fit, throwing a temper tantrum, blaming her. He's saying that this woman, our good sister, his girlfriend, is embarrassing him and making him look bad. He's making it all about him. And my theory is, if she continues on in this relationship, what else will he do? What other things will arise or come up that she cannot attend because she has an obligation to her children, or she just wants to spend time with her babies because she has split custody with the father? Maybe she doesn't want to come this time. Maybe the children have an event, or maybe she has something with her own family. It could be anything. But what else would he do? You give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. And I feel that this woman isn't putting her foot down or, giving him her backside to kiss. If my kids ain't invited and you see that I've made some effort to get a babysitter to attend one of your family function, what's the issue? Because you're not inviting my children. My children aren't invited. I can't come. I'm going to be with them. So what do you want me to do? I'm tempted to go as far as saying, I don't think this man really likes her kids, or he doesn't like kids. And at what point is she going to demand an answer and demand that her kids be included or be considered when he is planning things for them to do, right? And if you have to go that far where you have to demand that the man that you're dating, the man or the woman that you're dating or you're in a relationship with or you're considering getting serious with, if you have to demand that, is that the right person for you? Like, this whole thing kind of rubs me the wrong way, because if you're not inviting my kids, and you know that I have kids, I have small kids, you really want me there. Me not being there is upsetting you. But yet, you haven't even extended my kids an invite so that all of us could be there with your family. There's a problem. Women like that make me question as to how does, you hear these stories in the news about a boyfriend, watching the children, or, a fiance watching the children, and somehow the young woman goes off to work, and then the child ends up dead, missing, or something awful happens to the child. I wonder, does it start with situations like this, where there were red flags in the dating phases of your relationship that you ignored or that you made exceptions to, knowing that something wasn't right? This person knew that you had kids, but he doesn't consider your kids. He doesn't extend invites to your kids. He doesn't make considerations for your kids, nothing. And when you can't attend a function or whatever, or do things with him because you have your children, he makes it an issue. He doesn't even listen. I think that's where abuse starts. I do. I think that's where abuse starts. And I think it's women like this that even entertain men like this. You're the problem. Because once you see that your kids are not invited, once you can see that this man is not into your kids, or he's not into a woman that has kids, okay? Because I understand there could be a getting to know the woman first before, including, the children into, the equation. I get that part. But once he makes it abundantly clear through his action, or her abundantly clear through their actions, that they're not checking for your kids, or the fact that you are a single parent raising kids, you need to exit stage left. Okay, so here's another thought. So this woman went to the children's father, okay? She went to the children's father first, okay? The other parent, okay? Because she wanted to attend her boyfriend's family function. When she communicated to her boyfriend that the children's father wasn't going to be able to switch up, the weekend, they have court-ordered visitation arrangements or whatever the setup is between the two of them. Instead of the boyfriend understanding and say, well, you know what, you can sit this one out, I understand. Or instead of him not getting upset, you know what else he could have done? He could have offered, number one, we've already talked about, he could have invited her children, right? Yes, he should have. He could have. He should have. Let me repeat that. He could have and he should have, but he didn't, okay? And I have to also, consider the fact maybe it was a grown and sexy event just for grown-ups, and maybe no children were going to be there. Maybe this wasn't a time and a place or an event for children, right? It's a grown-up house party. I get that, right? But if he wanted her there so bad, why didn't he offer to pay for a babysitter for her? Why was that not an option? Why is he throwing a temper tantrum like he's one of the kids? He's not acting like an adult. He's acting like a spoiled, selfish adult, okay? And he's acting like a man who is not accepting of her children. And she's acting like a woman that's going to accept the man that's not accepting of her children. I can't understand even why this is an issue, why you would create a post, send a letter, whatever, send distress signals. Because, again, I've always been one of those women, one of those mothers. Baby, me and my daughters, when I was raising my children, we were a package deal, even though they're adults. I mean, fully grown adults. There's some level of acceptance that you have to have with my daughters in order for us to have a healthy relationship, right? Even though they're, again, they're grown, they got their own families or whatnot. But I don't understand, these people today. Like, where do you draw the line? When do you recognize the red flags? When do you say, okay, I may like this guy, but this guy is not into me having children, and he's not very understanding when things come up that I have children. And even though I like him, I gotta let him go. Why is this a question? Why is this up for debate? Why are women like this seeking answers when you should be seeking another partner? Why? Okay, I'm gonna say this because it needs to be said. And I don't know who needs to hear this. But you cannot be so hard up for a man or a woman that you are willing to sacrifice your children, their safety and their well-being, and them being rejected by whoever you're dealing with, that you're willing to accept anything from that person. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's situations like these, once again, in my opinion, that leads to these children being in these homes, getting abused, abandoned, and neglected because one parent or another failed to see the red flags in the person that they were dealing with. You can't be that hard up or desperate for a relationship that you allow a person to exclude your children out of events and activities, okay? And then make you feel guilty or make you the bad person because you can't attend because of your obligation to your children, to be a parent and to be present for your children. This nonsense has to stop. A certain part of me is offended that a post like this even was created, because why is it a conversation to be had? Like, my kids ain't invited. You ain't checking for my kids. You see what I was not able to do. This wasn't, an extravagant event or an affair. This is some house party that was going to be over an hour away, and you tripping like this, and you didn't even invite my kids, nor did you offer to help me find another babysitter or pay for another one. This is the climate and the dating culture that we're in. And I know people are going to say, well, this has been going on since the beginning of time. I realize that. You know what? And a lot of people grew up with parents and mothers just like this woman who, again, didn't see the red flags, and allowed some bullshit to continue. This situation turns into another situation, which creates a bigger situation. And then before you know it, your children are of a certain age. And then the next thing that comes out of their mouth when they get grown is, my mama always put men before me. My mama was always dropping me off at other people's houses, and I was staying over here and over there while my mama ran the streets. Was your mama dealing with a no good so-and-so that didn't want you around? You see where I'm going with this? This has to stop. So if you're just now tuning in, this is the part of the show where I recap and I tell you what all of this was about. This particular Talk That Talk edition is about a woman, a single parent, dating a guy who is not accepting of her children. You know, people can date whomever they want. They get to, set the standards. That's perfectly fine. It is my hope that any single parent out there, that you really do your due diligence when you are selecting the person that you want to bring into your life, or that you want to date, or you want to be in a relationship with. You need to be careful who you're bringing around your children. You need to be careful who you're allowing into your personal space and in your life. If they are showing you that they don't really care or rock with your kids like that, or the fact that you have children, right? In the case of the letter that we read tonight, the post that, we talked about with this woman dealing with this guy who wanted her to attend an event for his family that was out of town. Once he was made aware that she wasn't able to find a babysitter, he didn't extend the invitation to her children, and he blew up at the fact that she wasn't able to attend. Why would this be an issue for her to even ponder, try to get advice over? That blows my mind, because me, having children of my own that are now grown, very, very grown, with families of their own, that ain't even something I would ever deal with. You can't accept my children. They came from me. I love them. I give my life for my kids. I don't know about nobody else. Okay, mine are my all. Okay, but you can't accept mine. There's no place for me in your life, and you damn sure don't have any space in mine. You can't come into my life. It's either all of us or none of us. And I wish we could get back to those days. Accept my kids, or keep it pushing. But yeah, so that's where we are, guys. I hope you have enjoyed tonight's letter, and if it was meant for somebody to hear this and to be reminded that your children are precious, and that if the person that you are seeing does not make considerations for the children that you have, for the fact that you have small children, or if you are a single parent, that person does not deserve a space or a place in your life, in my humble opinion. That's it. That's all. This has been Talk That Talk with DivaSpeaks Relationship. My name is Portorreal, and until the next time, the Diva